Bulenox's payout policies are a little bit different to some of the prop firms out in the space, so I'm going to break down all of the payout policies that Bulenox have so you're not surprised by any of the rules that they have and you can get that payout with no issues. So for starters, we'll break down how you're going to be eligible for a payout with Bulenox. So once you've passed your qualification account with Bulenox and you're moved to a master account, you're then going to need to build a threshold to be eligible for a payout. Now on other firms, this is sort of a soft rule. You can still request a payout on firms like TopStep, for example, once you've had $200 of winning days or more. So if you were to do that for a firm like TopStep, that would mean that if you made $1,000, you would withdraw $500, but then the remaining $500 would become your max drawdown. So you're probably going to lose the account if we're being honest. And that's why TopStep will recommend that you build the same buffer that Bulenox is making you build. So on a 50K account, that buffer would be $2,600. So you're going to need to make $100 above your max drawdown. On a 50K account, your max drawdown is $2,500. So $2,600, $100 more than that. And then anything on top of that, you can then request a payout for. Now, the minimum amount you can withdraw is $1,000. So the account balance you're going to need on a 50K account once you're funded is $3,600 to request a payout. And then on the different types of accounts you can have, as far as account balance size, then you are going to have a maximum withdrawal amount for the first 3 payouts. So on a 50K account, that account balance would be $1,500. So you can withdraw a minimum of $1,000 and a maximum of $1,500 for your first 3 payouts. After that third payout, there is no max withdrawal limit. So that's really nice. That means once you've got those first 3 payouts, you are then through the gate. You can request absolutely as much as you want. And then on the screen, you can see the different types of max payouts that you can get for those first 3 payouts for all the different account sizes. But I would recommend that you get a 50K with Bulenox, as that is the best option. And at any point in this video, if you do want to go grab an account with Bulenox, then make sure you use my code KAI. That will get you the best possible discount on the end of day drawdown accounts, which I recommend. And you can use it for the intraday accounts as well, but I'm not going to recommend you do that. Now, the other thing to note is you're going to need a 40% consistency rule for those payouts, but really, if you're any decent at trading and you're not just hitting one crazy hit and run trade, then you're probably going to meet a 40% consistency rule. A 40% consistency rule is really nothing to worry about in trading. The ones that you want to pay attention to are the firms that offer a 20% consistency rule, like Tradeify, for example. But even then, if you just ignore the consistency rule, that actually is going to be the best way to go about it. Just because then you're not thinking about limiting yourself on your trades. You'll just trade until you meet the consistency rule. And then another payout rule to be aware of is your 10 minimum trading days. So you need to place 1 trade on at least 10 separate days between each payout to qualify yourself for that next payout. And what is really nice about Bulenox is these payouts can be requested at any time during the month, and they are processed once a week every Wednesday. So that's pretty frequent as far as payout requests. This is kind of a common thing across prop firms nowadays, but the first $10,000 that you withdraw will go 100% to you. After that, Bulenox will take a 10% cut of the profit. And then as of the end of April, they did introduce this rule where they essentially are going to be moving people to live funded accounts. So upon 3 completions of a successful payout with a master account, and here's the important thing, to the discretion of the risk management department of Bulenox, then they will consider moving you to a live funded account. And how this is going to work is if you have more than 1 master account, then those master accounts are going to be combined into one big live funded account. So this is a real account, it's a real live money in the market, unlike the simulated account that your master account was. And this is pretty common. A lot of firms, like TopStep as well, for example, are moving people into the live market. But one slightly annoying thing is that if you don't want to be moved to that live funded account and you decline it, then your master account will be closed and you won't be able to withdraw any profit. So they essentially force you into that live funded account. But from what I have heard in the space, these live funded accounts are not going to happen to a lot of people. A lot of people are just staying in master accounts and being able to withdraw as much as you want and not get moved to a real live funded account. They're being fairly picky with who they choose to move up to these live funded accounts. And then the last thing to note for these live funded accounts is this rule here. Now, in my opinion, this kind of section here hasn't been written very well. It can cause a little bit of a misunderstanding. So to break it down for you, when you get moved to that live funded account and all your master accounts get combined into one big live funded account, each master account that you have for 50K accounts can only contribute $5,000 per account. So if you have 3 accounts that have $5,000 each, then you will have a live funded account of $15,000. But If you have one master account that has $7,000 and two that have $3,000 each, that account with $7,000 can only contribute $5,000. So $2,000 will just be lost. So that is definitely something you want to be aware of when you have your master accounts. You probably don't want to hold any one master account with larger than $5,000, because if you get moved to a live funded account all of a sudden and you have some extra profit in that master account, you're going to lose it. So just make sure that you're keeping on top of that, and you'll be absolutely fine when you get to your live funded account. You won't lose out on any profits that you've earned. That is absolutely everything you need to know about the payout policies from Bulenox. If you have any questions, then feel free to comment and I'll try and get back to you. And if you want a complete breakdown of the entire of Bulenox, then I did the video right there. I just did an entire video on the payout policy just because I think it needs to be done. But that is all I have for you boys in this video. If you are trading today or next week at all, then I will wish you good luck, good trading. Catch you later, boys.